Now that we have an idea for our drum beat, let's add something melodic using keyboard and chord mode. I first want to create a new group, so I'll press the Group B button, which creates a new group with 16 sound slots. Each sound slot can store a sample, but you can also load VSTs into each sound slot, essentially having 16 different VSTs all within one group, but for this example, I'm just going to add one VST per group. With the first empty pad selected, I'll go back and press the browser button, and then tab over to Instruments. Just like groups, I'm able to browse through all of my plugins that are installed on the SD card, but in this case, I want to use the filtering. When selected on all products and using the filtering, it refines my presets list across all of my plugins instead of filtering in a specific one. The first preset I load could be from Retro Machines, and the next preset could be from Reactor. This lets you find the sound that you're looking for quickly. I'll change the type of sound that I'm looking for to bass, synth, and monophonic, and now my presets list is reduced. Just like kits, there are audio previews for each preset letting me know what it sounds like without having to load the instrument. Let's scroll through and find something we like and then press load. With the instrument loaded, it's now on the first pad. As you can hear, it's only playing one note. Just above the pads, I have keyboard mode. When pressed, this takes the selected VST and turns the pads into a playable keyboard. By default, the pads are playing chromatically. A great feature in keyboard mode is scales. Using the knobs below the left screen, I can select from a wide variety of scales. I have different banks and different scales within the banks. As I scroll through, you can see on the right display what notes each pad is going to play, and you can hear the difference when I play the pads. I want to customize the sound a little bit more, and you can do that using the 8 knobs below the display. I'll press the keyboard button again, which will leave the pads in keyboard mode, but now I can start customizing the sound. Every instrument on Maschine Plus is pre-mapped for you, letting you have direct control over the sound. There are multiple pages of parameters to adjust, and you can access them by using the left and right arrow. The first page is generally the more frequently used parameters that you would want to adjust, like filter or amp envelopes. I want to add some filter to the sound. I also want to adjust the sustain a bit to make it sound more like an 808. I'll go to page 2, and under amp envelope, adjust the decay and sustain until I like it. Let's create a new pattern. I'm going to leave this on auto so that the pattern length gets longer as I play, and see if I can come up with an idea and trim it after. I like the idea that I came up with a little bit later in this pattern, so I'll change the pattern start point, and then the length, and now I'm all set. Another way to input melodic ideas is using Chords Mode. Similar to keyboard mode, Chords Mode lets you play chords using one pad. I'm going to make another group and load a pad sound. I'll press Browser, scroll down to Massive, select Synth Pad, and find a sound that I like. This Bliss preset sounds pretty good. I'll press the chords button, and when I play the pads, we can now hear a chord. There are two types of chords mode, harmonizer mode and chord sets. Harmonizer mode lets you choose chords like major, minor, sevenths, and more. If I have a scale selected, like a minor scale, the chords that I play will be based off of that scale, so every chord is going to be in key. The other type of chord mode is chord sets. These are pre-made chord progressions that you can play using each individual pad. There are 8 major chord sets and 8 minor chord sets. You can play the pads in sequential order, or you can jump around to create a new chord progression. The screen on the right lets me know what chords I'm currently playing. You can also get super creative and combine chords mode and note repeat mode for the arpeggiator. When in keyboard mode or chord mode, you can press the note repeat button, and this gives you access to the arpeggiator. You also have the rate slots at the top, but you can also adjust other parameters like the direction the notes are playing or how many octaves. Let's create a chord progression. We have some chords and a bass line. Let's slice up a loop using Machine's sampler.